Next topic is data types. First, we have to understand what data types are. What are data types? A data type tells Python what kind of value is being stored. A data type tells Python what kind of value is being stored in a variable. It defines the type of data and determines what operations can be performed on that data. Data types are important because all data is not the same. For example, different types of data need different operations. 10 is an integer, which means it is a number. Numbers can be added, subtracted, multiplied, and divided. 3.14 is a floating point number. John is a string, which means it is text. Text can be joined together. True is a Boolean value. Boolean values help make decisions in a program. As you can see, all of these are different kinds of data, so they have different data types. Python needs to know what kind of data it is storing. A data type tells Python whether a value is a number, text, a list, or something else. I think some of you might be a little confused, so I will explain it clearly with examples. First, let's learn about numeric data types. Think about the numbers you use every day. Your age, 20. Your height, 5.8. Scientific calculations, 3 plus 4j. Although these are all numbers, Python treats them differently. That's why Python provides numeric data types. Understanding numeric data types is important because almost every Python program performs calculations using numbers. What are numeric data types? Numeric data types are used to store numbers. Python has three main numeric data types. 1. Int. 2. Float. 3. Complex. First, let's learn about integers. An integer stores whole numbers without decimal points. Observe carefully, numbers without decimal points are known as integers. Examples. Age equals 20. Marks equals 95. Students equals 50. All of these values are whole numbers, so they are integers. Now, let's see a real-time example. Open VS Code and type x equals 10. Then write print x. When you execute the program, the output will be 10. But I have one doubt. Is this really an integer or not? Let's check and find out. Type is a built-in Python function that tells you the data type of a value or variable. It's like asking Python, hey, what kind of data is this? For example, x equals 10. Print, type, x. Output, class int. Now, let's see a real-time example. Add the type function inside the print statement. When we execute the program, Python tells us that 10 is an integer, int. If you want to know the data type of any value or variable, you can use the type function. Using type helps you understand exactly what kind of data Python is storing. Next is float. A float stores numbers with decimal points, which is the opposite of an integer. Examples. Height equal 5.8 feet. Product price equals 99.99. Temperature equals 36.5 degrees Celsius. Now, let's see an example. Take x as the variable and assign the value 3.14, which is a float number. Print x and then print type, x. The output will be 3.14. Class float. Next, let's learn about complex numbers. Did you know Python can store imaginary numbers too? Yes. That's called the complex data type in Python. A complex number contains two parts. Real part. Imaginary part. In Python, the imaginary part is represented using j. Let's take a complex number. X equals 3 plus 4j. Now print x and print type, x. The output will be 3 plus 4j. Class complex. These are the numeric data types in Python. And now comes our next topic on Boolean data types. There are many areas where Booleans are used in programming such as login applications, AI, decision-making apps, etc. Boolean data type contains just two values which are true, false. For example, is underscore student equals true. Print is underscore student. And when we run our program, the output will be true. Take another example. is underscore logged underscore in equals false. Print is underscore logged underscore in. Output false. Boolean is useful for making decisions in programming. Let's take a real-time example. Open VS Code. First, type is student equals true. Print is student. Now let's run the program. The output will be true. Let's take another example for false. Type is logged in equals false. Print is logged in. Run the program. The output will be false. Boolean data types are pretty straightforward, however. They form the basis of nearly all the decisions in programming. Boolean using comparison operators. Python automatically returns true or false when comparing values. For example, print 10 greater than 5. The output will be true. This is because 10 is greater than 5. When Python evaluates the comparison, it checks whether the condition is true or false and returns the corresponding Boolean value. So, this is a simple example of the Boolean concept in Python. The next topic is sequence data types. A sequence data type stores multiple items in a specific order. Python remembers the position of each item. I will explain it clearly. Think of a train. Each coach has a fixed position. Engine coach 1, coach 2, coach 3. Similarly, sequence data stores values in a specific order. For example, if we store ABC in Python, Python stores each character in order. A position 0. B position 1. C position 2. Each item has its own position, which helps Python easily access, update, add, or remove values when needed. This is why sequence data types are very useful when working with ordered data. Next, types of sequence data. There are 4 sequence data types. First one is string, second one is list, third one is tuple, and I will explain each one with examples. Let's start strings. A string, or str, is used to store text. A string is a sequence of characters. Anything written inside single quotes or double quotes is considered a string. Strings are always written inside quotation marks. Examples. Hello. Python. Now, let's take a real-time example. Create a variable named m and store the text Python in it. Then print the variable and run the program. The output will be Python. Now let's check whether it is a string or not using the type function. Add type and run the program again. The output will be Python. Class string. This tells us that Python is storing the value as a string. Next, let's understand why a string is called a sequence. Python stores every character in a string with a position number called an index. Look carefully at the screen. When Python stores a string, it assigns a unique index number to each character. These index numbers are called indexes. Indexes are used to access specific characters in a string. For example, in the previous example, let's print the character at index 1. Type. Print name, 1. Now let's see the output. The output is Y. I think you can already see the use of indexes. They help us access individual characters from a string. You can also use negative indexes. Negative indexes start from the end of the string. Let's try. Print name, -1. The output is N. This is because -1 refers to the last character in the string. Now, if you want to know the length of a string, you can use the len function. Type. Print len name. The output is 6. This tells us that the string contains 6 characters. These are the basics of strings. The next topic is list. A list helps us store multiple values inside a single variable. Lists are created using square brackets. Let's take some examples. Apple, banana, mango. Every item in a list has a position called an index. The index starts from 0. Apple position 0. Banana position 1. Mango position 2. Accessing list items. To access an item in a list, we use its index number. For example, fruits equals apple, banana, mango. Print, fruits, 0. Now, let's take a real-time example. Create a variable named fruits and store apple, banana, and mango in it. Then print the fruits variable and run the program. The output will be apple, banana, mango. Just like strings, we can access list items using index values. Type print fruits 0. The output is apple. Let's take another example. Type print fruits -1. The output is mango. As you can see, positive indexes start from the beginning, while negative indexes start from the end of the list. In a list, we can change items. Lists are mutable, which means they can be modified after they are created. We can change items using their index numbers. Let's see an example. Suppose we have a variable named fruits. We can use index 1 to change banana to orange. Now, let's see a real-time example. Run this code in VS Code. The output will be apple, orange, mango. Next, we can add new items directly to a list. Adding items to a list. We use the append method. Let's add a new item after mango. Now, let's run the code. The output will be apple, banana, mango, orange. Next, we can remove items from a list. Removing items from a list. We use the remove method. Let's remove the item banana. Now, let's run the code. The output will be apple, mango. If you want to find the length of a list, you can use the len function. Finding list length. Use the len function. Let's run the code. The output will be 3. So, these are the basic concepts of lists in Python. The next topic is tuple. Python has a data type designed for storing information that should not change. It is called a tuple. A tuple is very similar to a list, but with one important difference. Lists can be changed, but tuples cannot. A tuple is used to store multiple values in a single variable. The values are stored in a specific order. However, once a tuple is created, its values cannot be changed. Tuples use round brackets. Fruits apple, banana, mango. Now, let's see a real-time example. Create a tuple and run the program. The output will be apple, banana, mango. Tuples have many of the same features as lists, but tuples are designed to store fixed items. Some important features of tuples are accessing tuple items. We can access tuple items using index numbers. Negative indexing. Python can also count from the end using negative indexes. Tuple cannot be changed. This is the most important feature of a tuple. Let's see an example. Create a tuple named colors. Colors red, green, blue. Now, let's try to change green to yellow using its index. Colors 1 equals yellow. Let's run the code. The output will be type error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. This error occurs because tuples are immutable. Immutable means their values cannot be changed after the tuple is created. So, this is the basic concept of tuples in Python.